There is a type of person who, when they get hurt, doesn't react loudly or argue. They just go quiet. They stay there, they listen, but they barely say anything. When asked, they say they are fine, even though inside they feel completely overwhelmed. Maybe you have been misunderstood because of this. Maybe people have called you cold or distant. But if you have ever been like this, what you are experiencing is more common than you think. And more importantly, there is a real reason behind it. From the outside, your silence often means something very different to other people. They see you not speaking and assume you do not want to solve the problem. They may feel ignored or even disrespected. Some people think you are avoiding the situation or making things harder on purpose. But what they do not see is that you are not choosing this consciously. You are not trying to control the situation. You are simply responding in the only way your body allows in that moment. And when this is not explained, misunderstandings begin to grow. In psychology, this reaction is known as the freeze response, one of the body's core survival mechanisms alongside fight and flight. Researcher Peter Levine has shown that when emotions become overwhelming, the nervous system can slow everything down to protect you. At the same time, studies on the brain suggest that the area responsible for language can become less active during emotional flooding. This means you may genuinely struggle to put your thoughts into words in that moment. Not because you do not want to, but because you physically cannot access them easily. In addition, according to John Bowlby, the way we respond to emotional pain is shaped by our early relationships. When emotional safety was not consistent, the body learns to protect itself in specific ways. Your silence, in that sense, is a learned and reinforced response over time. When you enter this state, everything happens quickly but feels difficult to explain. You feel emotions rising, but you cannot organize them into words. Your chest feels heavy, and your thoughts become scattered. You may hear everything the other person is saying, but you cannot respond right away. That does not mean you do not care. In fact, sometimes you care so much that it makes speaking even harder. You are trying to stay stable before you continue. And in that moment, silence is the only thing you can manage. If you look back, you may realize this reaction did not appear randomly. It often starts from experiences where your emotions were not received well. Maybe you were ignored, criticized, or made to feel like your feelings did not matter. Those moments teach you that expressing yourself is not always safe. Over time, you adapt. You do not stop feeling, but you stop expressing it outwardly. That is not weakness. It is a form of protection shaped by what you have been through. At the same time, it is important to understand that not all silence is healthy. Sometimes it helps you calm down and think clearly, but other times, it creates distance between you and others. If you come back later and communicate, that silence is a necessary pause. But if you disappear from the conversation and never return, it becomes avoidance. These two may look similar on the surface, but they lead to very different outcomes. Recognizing the difference helps you avoid unintentionally hurting yourself or your relationships. While you appear quiet on the outside, your mind is very active on the inside. You are trying to understand what just happened and how you feel about it. You are reviewing past experiences to make sense of the present moment. You are thinking about what might happen if you speak too soon. You do not want to make things worse with a rushed reaction. You are processing everything deeply and carefully, and that depth is why you need more time than others. Part of your silence comes from how much you care about the relationship. You know that when you are hurt, your words can come out sharper than you intend. You do not want to say something that cannot be taken back, so you wait. When you finally speak, you want it to be something you truly understand and stand behind. Not everyone takes that level of care. In many cases, your silence is not about withdrawing, but about preserving what matters. However, society often values people who respond quickly and express themselves immediately. Those who speak right away are seen as direct and open. Meanwhile, those who go quiet are often seen as distant or difficult. This creates a paradox. You believe you are handling things carefully, but others may see it as avoidance. They do not see the process happening inside you. They only see the silence. And without explanation, that gap in understanding continues to grow. You do not need to completely change how you respond. You are allowed to take the time you need, but you can make your silence easier for others to understand. A simple sentence can make a big difference. Let them know you need time and that you will come back to the conversation. This reassures them that you are not walking away. At the same time, if you are on the other side, learn to give space without pressure. Not everyone processes emotions in the same way. A little patience can lead to a much healthier conversation later. You are not cold or emotionally distant. You are someone who feels deeply and takes time to understand those feelings. Your silence is not something that needs to be removed, but something that needs to be understood. When you learn to return and communicate after that silence, your connections become stronger and clearer. And when someone is patient enough to wait for you, they will begin to understand that your silence is not distance. If this helped you see yourself with more clarity, you can stay with this channel to continue understanding yourself on a deeper level. Because sometimes, having the right words for your feelings changes everything.